WKRG News 5 starts right now with breaking news.
Time now is 6 o'clock Wednesday morning. A live look at the Key Harbor condominiums. This is Perdido Key, Florida. This morning, a massive fire burning there for just over an hour now.
And we have crews on that scene. News 5's Bryant Clerkley has been there since shortly after this fire began, just before 5 o'clock this morning. We understand several units of the condos are on fire. We heard from witnesses earlier. We're going to bring you more on this coming up throughout the hour here on News 5 this morning. It is also streaming on our website, WKRG.com, as well as our WKRG Facebook page.
First, we want to get you out the door with a look at this morning's weather. Here is meteorologist John Nodar.
All right, and firefighters not getting any help from rain in that part of the world, but it is raining just down the road a piece and raining pretty heavily. This is the area around Alpha Skycam at Dauphin and I-65. It's looking back toward the east. A beautiful sunrise this morning. The radar is busy in parts of Florida. This is Okaloosa County, and you folks had a flash flood warning in the pre-dawn hours today. Now that has expired, but still heavy rain. There may be some street flooding and nuisance flooding in the area around Destin, stretching really all the way back to about Navarre on Highway 98. So watch for that during your morning commute. Otherwise, a pretty quiet morning for most. Few showers down here in South Mobile County, Eastern Shore getting a dribble of rain. Temperatures are in the 70s, and it's pretty sticky out there as well. That humidity will come into play later today when our temperatures get up around the 90-degree mark. With the humidity, it's going to feel more like around 100 degrees, so be prepared for that. We'll talk about an even warmer weekend ahead coming up on News 5 this morning.
And we are continuing to cover breaking news. Key Harbor condominiums is where it's happening this morning. It is Perdido Key, Florida. A massive fire starting there just before 5 o'clock. This is right along Old River. You can see it here on the map. It's across the street from the beach, and Old River running there alongside, I believe, Ono Island.
Perdido Key Drive also shut down this morning with a massive response by fire department there in Perdido Key. News 5's Bryant Clerkley is joining us live there. He has been at this fire since shortly after it began this morning. Good morning, Bryant.
Good morning, Bill and Jessica. That's right, Key Harbor condominiums right behind me. I'm just going to step out of the shot so you guys can see what's going on. I am right behind the condominiums, and you can see it looks like some of those buildings are still on fire. I'm just going to try to zoom in for everyone. And we did speak to witnesses who say that the guy said that he was just sleeping. He lives in this home with his wife and his animals, and he was just sleeping, and he someone knocked on his door, and then he came out to find everything really on fire. People were running in every which direction, and he says that he's just glad. He knows his home is gone, but he's just glad that he was able to make it out safely, and his family. And we don't have word on injuries just yet. We're still working to gather more information, but the road is pretty much blocked here in the Perdido Key area. You can see firefighters and fire officials. They have been working on this fire for quite some time, and anyone trying to get into Alabama and cross over the state line might have to turn around and go the opposite direction. Same if you're coming from Alabama into Florida. It doesn't look like they're letting any of the traffic through, but I'm just going to zoom back over so you guys can see the fire right here. I'm going to try to zoom in. You can see that thick black smoke that's been billowing out, and there's a whole bunch of onlookers. They're trying to cover their noses and cover their faces because it is, you will cough. It is very thick here, but you can see it is still on fire. We have the Key Harbor condominiums over here, and we're going to stay with this, and we're going to keep following this, so you can follow us on air and on our website, WKRG.com. Live here in Escambia County, I'm Bryant Clerkley, WKRG News 5.
And Brian, I recall hearing from a witness that you spoke with earlier this morning who said that he believes this started maybe in a two-story condominium there at Key Harbor this morning. Do we have any idea of the scope of the fire at this point? How many condo units have now been affected? How far this has spread?
Well, the witness told me several of the condos in there are on fire, and I'm not sure about how much it has spread, but he did say that there was like a separate home or something like that that looked to be on fire first, but he wasn't exactly sure. But like I said, I'm still working to gather more information on exactly where this fire started and how long until fire officials have it cleared out.
Yeah, you can
we are
tell.
still working to gather information on that, and we will update everyone as soon as we get that.
Yeah.
Now on WKRG News 5.
A shocking arrest caught on camera. A man taken into custody on Pensacola Beach. We'll tell you what led up to this moment. Plus, a Mobile woman is killed in a hit-and-run crash this morning. Police are searching for whoever was behind the wheel. And the Carnival Fantasy is headed to Mexico a day behind schedule. Hear from passengers on the ship. News 5 this morning starts now.
Local coverage you can count on. You're watching WKRG News 5 this morning.
Good Monday morning to you. It is 6 o'clock. We're glad you're waking up with News 5 this morning. I'm Jessica Taloni.
I'm Bill Riles. Thanks for watching, everyone. First on 5 this morning, bringing the heat on this Monday. We get it back after Tropical Storm Barry, or Hurricane Barry, kind of cooled things down a little bit.
Yeah, Hurricane Barry for a couple of hours there right before landfall, but for us it was mostly big rainmaker Barry, as well as some coastal flooding too. Let's take a look at what's out there now. The remnants of Barry, believe it or not, it just won't let go of our weather. Now, today is probably the last day that it will really influence what's going on here. That line of showers and thunderstorms just to our west could make its way into our neighborhood sometime today. Now, yesterday, it stayed right here all day long. So today it seems to be edging toward the east, so our Mississippi communities have a better shot at rain than the rest of us, but everybody's got at least the possibility of some showers by this afternoon. There's a lot of moisture still being drawn up into the center of what is now Tropical Depression Barry. Eventually, though, it's going to give up on our weather, and we'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. Right now, it's a lovely, kind of a weird-looking morning, but it's very, very pleasant-looking as we check out the low clouds and the sun coming up over the Mobile River. Temperatures today in the upper 80s, not bad, mid to upper 80s depending on where you are and whether you get some rain. By tomorrow, we're back in the 90s for daytime highs, and we're going to stay there, and we'll talk more about that as well. We'll look back at Barry and ahead to the rest of the week on News 5 this morning.
News 5 traffic is brought to you in part by Green and Phillips Injury Lawyers.
So far, we start off your Monday morning with one accident. It's in Pensacola at North Blue Angel Parkway, just west of Mobile Highway. It was a fender bender. It's off to the side of the roadway and no delay. And that was the only accident, not just in Pensacola, but also in Mobile. Both Mobile Police and Alabama Highway Patrol report no accidents to begin the day. We're looking good coming down I-65. Bayway Causeway both look good through the tunnels without any delay and no issues throughout West Mobile. I'm Kenny Fowler with your WKRG News 5 traffic.
Happening today in Okaloosa County, an autopsy is scheduled for a man who was shot and killed outside of a home in Mary Esther.
Well, this happened Saturday morning. News 5's Brian Clerkley is live in Northwest Florida now with details on that. Good morning, Brian.
Yes, that's right. We should find out more about what happened to 34-year-old Christopher Black. Another person was shot, and we still don't know. Another person was shot in that, and that person is expected to be okay. Now, this happened on Blackstone Road just before 5 a.m. Deputies responded to a shots fired call. When they arrived, they found Black outside. He was taken to a hospital. He died from his injuries. Now, the part of the street where this happened was blocked off for several hours. Investigators are still working to gather more evidence, and we still don't know if that person that was shot was involved in the crime. Live here in Northwest Florida, I'm Brian Clerkley, WKRG News 5.
Saraland police are asking for your help finding the person they say broke into several vehicles early Sunday morning. Take a look here at this photo of the suspect. Police say he broke into vehicles in the Spanish Trace subdivision. If you recognize the man, you're asked to call Saraland Crime Stoppers at the number there on your screen.
Happening today, Mayor Sandy Stimpson is set to tour Florida Street following this weekend's storms. Specifically, he'll be looking at the portion of the road that is under construction for a new drainage system. And
that construction has been going on for some time. News 5's Katarina Lukadich is on Florida Street this morning with the latest on that. Good morning, Kat.
Hey, good morning, Bill and Jessica. Yeah, it's been a massive construction project. The road here torn up since October, and it's been frustrating for some of the business owners. Across the street here at Wimpy's Floor Center, you can see a sign outside that hangs reading, "Please pardon the city's lack of progress. Now, all of this construction here is a major drainage improvement project, $1.8 million worth of improvements set to go on here. Mayor Sandy Stimpson is set to tour the project at 8 o'clock this morning following the weekend storms. We had a lot of rainfall, and it's unclear whether or not that rain did some damage to any work that's been done here on Florida Street. That's something we'll figure out. As for the road itself, when we drove through this morning, it was pretty bumpy after the rain. So again, the mayor set to tour at 8 o'clock this morning. The Florida Street Drainage Improvement Project will be on that tour with you. We'll let you know what happens, so look for updates throughout the day. Reporting live on Florida Street in Mobile, Katarina Lutich, WKRG News 5.
And recovery continues on Dolphin Island today following impacts from Hurricane Barry over the weekend. In fact, several sea turtle nests were lost and destroyed in that storm.
News 5's Chad Petrie is at Dolphin Island this morning with the latest on that. Good morning, Chad.
Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Jessica. And you know, this tractor behind me, it's going to be part of the cleanup effort today. They still have to remove debris from the road and pump water off of the road today as the remnants of this storm continue to be cleaned up. It's one of the situations that for homeowners could have been a lot worse. Really, one of the biggest losses is ecological. Now, again, they were pumping water off of the road yesterday, but the destruction of the sea turtle nests is something a lot of people are talking about. Volunteers with Share the Beach said at least 7 nests they know of were destroyed by the storm. Another lot was lost or buried, likely lost to that storm. They say it's a total of 21 nests in all. Now, the western tip of the island was cut off and they were unable to reach 2 of their westernmost nests. Also, a dead sea turtle was found on the west end of the island near Katrina Cut. Now, volunteers will continue to monitor the beach and look for other nests as they go on throughout the season. Reporting live on Dolphin Island, Chad Petrie, WKRG News 5.
Now, meteorologist John Nodar with your First Alert Storm Team forecast.
All right, we got the last vestiges of Barry, I guess, yesterday and on into today. We could see it. You mentioned the rip currents still happening down at the beach. Huh?
Really high risk of rip currents, which we can never stress enough is extremely dangerous. All right, so how's that for stressing?
There you go.
We've had coastal flooding, which is eased off now, and boy, did we have rain out of this thing. Right about where it was forecast, up to 7 inches in the Mobile Bay area. So that's a lot of rain. Today, we start to see Barry easing out of here and kind of letting go of our weather, but not yet. We still have clouds and a beautiful view here, really, from Pensacola at the Unity Fiber location, looking out over Blue Wahoo Stadium and more. Pensacola, you saw very little of Barry. You may have had a couple of showers pass through, but overall, not much Barry for you. It was just a little too far away, centered over Louisiana. But the Bayway, the Causeway, all right, let's talk Causeway for a second. If you want to talk coastal flooding, just ask Bill Riles about driving. We will next time we're standing over there. Ask him about driving across the Causeway. And also, I know you folks at Codan, Biola Battery, Dolphin Island, you've seen substantial coastal flooding. Barry is now a tropical depression, 25-mile-an-hour winds, if that, but still a lot of moisture being drawn up out of the Gulf and circled into this center of low pressure. There's a huge band over parts of eastern Louisiana, western Mississippi, and then there's this band that has been in place for the past 24 hours over the I-59 corridor. It's dropped about 7 inches of rain in Hattiesburg. You can see it starting to work its way slowly eastward, so it may find its way into our Mississippi communities later this morning. Right now it's just rain. By this afternoon we could add some lightning and thunder to the mix. The forecast for today, I'm going to go with a few showers this morning. The farther west you are, so if you're in Mississippi, you get more rain. If you're in Florida, you get far less. A few thunderstorms this afternoon, same deal there. You just have more moisture being drawn in toward the west. 80s to start things out this morning. We warm to the upper 80s this afternoon, so still cooled by all the clouds and rain over the past few days. By tomorrow, we get more sunshine, warmer temperatures, less rain for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then no tropical weather, but we are back to increasing the thunderstorms for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Coming up, incredible body cam footage shows an Okaloosa County Sheriff's deputy injured during a boat rescue. We'll tell you how that deputy is doing this morning.
Plus, a teenager bitten by a shark near Amelia Island, Florida. Now she's sharing her experiences from the attack. We'll tell you about that. It's 6:09. Keep it right here.
Traffic brought to you by Out of Sight Outfitters. Now open at 3501 Gulf Shores Parkway in Gulf Shores. See them on Facebook.